Hey everyone, it's Jeff Fisher of High School Football America in the NFL Play Football studio. And like so many recent podcasts, we're going to talk flag football, believe it or not, as it continues to boom. And I'm joined today by Pam Watts of NIRSA. She's the executive director of the National Intramural Recreation Sports Association. Big announcement today. And Pam's here to talk about it. Thanks for taking the time, Pam.
Great. Well, thanks for having me.
Well, the bottom line is, and because I said at the beginning before we rolled tape on this, I said, I didn't even know what NIRSA was or is, and
Mhm.
you guys are launching in partnership with the NFL, the NIRSA Club Flag Football League championships
Mhm.
coming up next year. But before we get into that big announcement, let's let people around the country know exactly who NIRSA is. Take it away,
Yeah,
Executive Director.
absolutely. Well, I'm proud to say NIRSA has been around 75 plus years. We are the professional association for campus recreation. So all parts of non-varsity sport, recreation and well-being on a college campus is executed by NIRSA members. One of the interesting things we do in addition to typical professional association stuff, because we are in this business of sport, is we run regional and national championships in five different sports. And we're really excited to be here today to talk about the launch of women's club flag football.
You know what? Like I said, everybody I talk to, I haven't figured out if the word is boom, explode. Maybe you
Yeah.
have your own on that, but that's what flag football is doing right now, especially girls flag at the high school level. Now we're seeing at the
Mhm.
college level, like the Jets just
Mhm.
had the ECAC championship the other day over the weekend and all that. What got you guys involved with it? And talk specifically about the partnership with the NFL and what is it that's going to happen here between the start now and the start of the season next January?
Yeah, I mean, Nurse has been involved in flag football in the intramural space for decades, right? So
Mhm.
the sport itself is not new to us, but this partnership with the NFL, building on the growth that we're seeing in youth and high school, is to really bring that club sport opportunity to girls and women in flag in the collegiate space. Intramurals is great, you can play other teams on campus, but club is where you get that higher level of competition, higher level of play. You get that excitement of wearing your school color, your school logo, and going out and representing your school, playing other teams, and ultimately playing for a national championship. And that's what we're excited to bring to women and girls in college.
I've seen the list. It's got
Mhm.
all the big names there. The Pennsylvania guy was interested in Penn State there, living
Yep,
in
yep,
Georgia. I love the dogs here too. And then you got
yep.
some smaller schools. So talk a little bit about the teams that are involved right now. And I'm sure it's going to get bigger and bigger as we move forward.
Yeah, that's, one of the core parts of recreation in our DNA is inclusion. So this will be built for opportunities for all. So that's big schools, small schools, like you said. NIRSA was actually founded by HBCUs. So we have a
Okay.
special interest in making sure our HBCU founders and other schools are involved. So in that regard, North Carolina A&M, Texas Southern have already committed to the league. And in these early days, we're going to grow this following the interests of the students in the schools, making it geographically accessible. And then through time, with more and more schools committed, then it'll settle out into the appropriate, divisions and competitive levels and the like.
Yeah, that was kind of where I was going to go with it because everybody that watches this is going to go, oh yeah, I know the SEC, oh I know the Big Ten. Those
Yeah.
schools, there must be. So differentiate a little bit and tell how that works.
Yeah, so NIRSA is not organized by, the same structures that the NCAA is. And what we're looking for in these early days is really to make the sport accessible. So that geographic proximity is going to be important.
Hmm.
And then we'll watch the levels of competition shake out. It could be like basketball, like varsity basketball, where the rivalries in the good schools don't necessarily follow what the rivalries in the good schools are in football. I think we're going to see a whole class of schools emerge as the powerhouses in women's flag football. That may follow who we know in the SEC and the Big Ten and all of those spaces, or it might be different spaces. We'll just have to see where that competition emerges.
It'll be interesting to watch. That's for sure. As you said, this is not your first rodeo when it comes to flag and all that. And I use the word boom, explode, whatever it is that is happening right now. But since you've been around this a little bit, and before the big boom
Yeah.
comes, what surprised you the most about the growth over these last 2, 3, 4 years?
I think just how fast it's been, and that's a big testament to the support from the NFL and a couple other players in this ecosystem who really took a strong interest and I believe found the right partners to grow this sport. What RCX has done in the youth space, what the Federation of High Schools has done in the high school space, all with NFL support, what we're going to be able to do in the collegiate space, on a parallel track with the NCAA, and then, of course, the efforts on the pro side. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention officiating is all a big part of this too, right? No official, no game. And NIRSA, again, for decades through Campus Rec, has been training officials. We are often the place where you learn how to be an official, and then you go on and officiate in other spaces. And so while we're doing a lot of work to grow the leagues and the league structure, we're also doing a lot of work to make sure that officiating pipeline stays as healthy as it needs to be to support all of this growth, right? Because
Yeah.
if we just grow the team side, this isn't going to get very far.
We need people in the stripes. There's no doubt
Mhm,
about that.
mhm,
I mentioned at the beginning that you're going to start playing in January
mhm,
and championship April, I guess, of
mhm.
next year. So how is that all going to work? And again, I know it's kind of probably a little bit of a work in progress, but lay it out for the people. I mean, are you going to have, leagues, divisions, regions, whatever, and then
Mhm.
they all collide someplace for that championship weekend?
Yeah, it'll be that kind of structure with, again, geographically organized leagues. We'll have to see the more schools, the more opportunity, the
Right.
faster we can run on this, whether there'll be sort of a regional level before you get to a national championship. I think one of the things to note is that league play will be organized tournament style. So then rather than playing one school at a time, week after week after week, we organize, let's say, 4 to 6 schools to play on a weekend, play multiple games. It's really the format that a lot of the student athletes are used to in their youth club experience. It makes a lot of sense for the students because it reduces their travel time, their time away from campus and classes, the affordability of all of this travel, right? Because most of these clubs are self-organized and self-funded. So, and it creates for an amazing experience, right? You get 4 to 6 teams. I think this is where these rivalries will develop. I think through time, certain tournaments will emerge as kind of marquee tournaments. And then the things through time we'll be able to do to really enhance those events, right? Hopefully with some great sponsors and partners to create a really great experience over the whole weekend for the players and all that are involved.
That's going to be fantastic. And then, have you figured out where the championship, again, it's probably going to be a tournament style, right? X number advanced to the
Yeah,
championship
yeah,
weekend. Do you know
yeah.
where it's going to be at this point yet?
Nope, not yet, not
Okay.
yet.
All right. We ain't going to break no news here on that one, I guess.
Nope, nope.
For
But
English.
you'll be my first call. We can break it here when we're ready to announce that.
I appreciate that. So I'm sure you're making lots of calls to many of your members already, but what if somebody's out there listening to this, watching this, reading it on High School Football America or HSFA Flag or NFL Play Football and wants to get involved? How do they get involved?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're a player, an official, or anybody else who's interested, the easiest thing is go to the website, nirsa.org/play. There's an interest form there for teams to learn more, to get, looped into our communication systems, get you on our radar, start to build out with you teams in your area. So we're sure that we can field the league in your area. We've already seen great participation of getting teams secured in certain areas. And then, those students are more than willing to call up their friends at area schools and help build out the league. And peer-to-peer is always great. For, organizers and sponsors and partners like that, again, NIRSA has a well-developed system for activating around sport tournaments, sport events. So again, contact us. We have a whole team that's ready to work with us on that. We also work with the team at Next Gen. They help us a lot with sponsorship and enhancement opportunities. So either contacting us or contacting them is a great way to get involved.
All part of the big NFL Play Football family or NFL Flag family or
Yeah.
RCX. Name all of them. We're glad that we're having you here, and we're going to do a little bit more to do whatever we can to promote it. A couple of the few things going away here. Playing sevens, right? That's the format. And
Mhm.
then I should have asked you this before I even rolled tape, but is this a co-ed situation? You got a men's and women's teams? How's it working?
Yeah, right now we're focused on launching the women's leagues. I think
Okay.
through time, we're definitely interested in launching men's and co-rec. Co-rec's been a huge part of the intramural space for years. We also run tennis national championships with USTA, and that's in a co-ed team format, and that's just a lot of fun, right? To compete in that way. So those will come through time, but right now we're focused on getting the women's league stood up and stood up well.
And where do you see this in 5 years? I mean, I know it's hard the day you make the announcement to have that question asked to you, but I know you probably got some goals there on some little cheat sheet where you're thinking about what you want to do. What do you think in five?
Yeah, I think in 5 years, easily there will be, hundreds and hundreds of teams around the country competing in this structure. I think different divisions will emerge. I think that rivalries will emerge. I think some marquee events will emerge. There is a lot of momentum right now, and certainly leading into LA 28, because of course flag football will be there, and we're excited about that. Our players are part of Team USA and are part of that pipeline right now, which is exciting. But we're interested in sustaining this, beyond LA 28. Again, we want to be running these for another 75 years.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that's going to down the
Mm-mm.
boom or the explosion. And because you are part of the HSFA flag, High School Football America, NFL play football family, I don't do this for everyone, but
Yeah.
your friends and family. Did I
Oh,
miss anything?
good.
Is there anything you want to get as we go away here? Did I miss anything that you want to pitch or make sure I we get into this interview?
I think the thing I want to leave everyone with is that, we really believe that sport is about more than competition. And so, yes, we're launching a league. Yes, we're creating opportunities for play, but we're doing this in a way that centers the student athlete, centers student development. We want to have access for as many players as possible. And we want to build something sustainable so it's around for the long haul. And we're really excited to have partners like yourself and the NFL and others to help us do that. There's an alignment of vision around that um, that we're really excited to execute and have some good fun along the way.
We're looking forward to working with you. I appreciate you taking out some time of this busy schedule
Yeah.
today with a big announcement, and we look forward to working in the future and figure out how we can make this thing come up with another whatever the next level to boom and explode is. I'm not sure what
Yep.
that is, but
Yep. Yep.
some cosmic collision or whatever. But anyway, Pam, thank you for time
Thank
today.
you so much.